All right, ready?
Yes, sir.
Ooh. Can't do that while you're drinking because then you're going to have to say your name. All right, here we go. It's going to work this time. Welcome back, everyone, to Pod of Thrones. I'm Jeff.
I'm Jennifer.
Are we back?
We're back.
We'll see how this goes. As we were discussing before, hopefully I hooked up everything okay. It looks like we're recording, but it's been a really long time.
Right.
I should have gone to a tale of the tape. Like, when was our last recorded episode? Would you like to take a guess?
August 2022.
You think it's been a year?
I think it was, the last thing we did was what? House of the Targaryen? Did we do that?
House of the Dragon?
House of the Dragon.
Let's see. January 2nd, we did a State of the Podcast episode, and before that, we finished up Westworld. So, in State of the Podcast, we did talk about House of the Dragon. Some. But we never did an episode by episode.
We're so lame.
I mean, we used to be
Let's do it. Okay, we're back. We're back.
Throne podcast.
We're doing it.
We're going to rewatch House of the Dragon?
We're rewatching it. We're going to do a, synopsis.
What?
We're going to do a synopsis. I just got stressed out about it. Because we are the Pod of Thrones. Come on.
Sure. Well,
unless we're going to change our name to, Pod of the Dragon.
I thought about, I was recently considering changing the name of the podcast to Sometimes Jeff Talks to People About Stuff. Our last recorded episode was February 26th, and that was when I did a one-on-one with Edward Savio, author of the Battle for Forever series.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what's wrong with the Kid Free Weekend?
Well, that's a completely different podcast feed.
Okay. You're going to change this name to Sometimes I Talk to People or Jeff Talks to People instead of using the other one that you already have that was meant for things like that?
We have many more subscribers here. No, I'm probably not going to change.
You can't just change our name.
I was also planning on getting an interview going with someone who's making a documentary about Lost, and I will hopefully still do that. But as I was reaching out to that guy saying, hey, we should talk soon, I was like, maybe we should post another Pod of Thrones episode first, and then I'll try to hit him.
Okay.
But then that never happened.
Well, it could happen, but
it could. You're
going to have to create a whole new podcast if you're going to do that. Called Sometimes Jeff Talks to People.
Well, you could join in on that too if you want. But
sure. You would be talking to me too sometimes. Sometimes Jeff talks to. I'm a person.
Right, you are a person.
Thanks.
Yes. No, I fully recognize your personhood.
I might be alien.
That'd be so cool.
I might be the alien. I think everybody else are aliens. I might be the alien.
Well, would that make you not a person? Because we live in a world where corporations have been declared to be people. So I feel like if you're an alien, you get to be a person.
Define what a person is.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know.
I don't either.
So yeah, it's been a while. And it's been kind of twofold. There was a point in time when I was like, well, Jennifer just kind of wants to do other stuff. And you do a lot of other stuff. You've been crafting like a mad person and also a lot of gardening.
And never getting anything done.
That's funny. I just sent you a TikTok about that. That's funny. But you do a lot of stuff and it makes you happy, right? You enjoy sitting there and crafting things and you love working with plants.
That makes
fulfilling,
you happy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also come to realize in the last couple of months that I wasn't really there either. But not because I don't want to do podcasting. In fact, I really do. I just haven't really had the energy to do much of anything. So just trying to maintain with work and family for as good as that goes with the teenagers. And that's about it. I've been watching a lot of TV and that's it. Yeah. Incidentally.
Well, you've been exercising. Sort of.
I've been making myself keep up with the exercising, but it just, I don't know. Something's wrong. So
hopefully not.
I just saw a doctor the other day, and I don't think
you'll be okay.
I don't think it's anything catastrophic, like I'm dying imminently or anything, but just I don't feel right. So I'm working on that. But we have a couple times in recent weeks been like, maybe we should podcast again sometime, and you said yes, and I said yes, and here we are.
We said yes to the podcast.
And in the lead up to this, we managed to watch 5 whole episodes of The Witcher Season 3.
Yes, we did.
That is another thing that we have not been on the same page with recently, is just
watching
like
the same thing.
There used to be whole weekends.
There's not a whole lot of great things to watch.
That is a topic I want to talk about. But there used to be a time when you and I could sit on the couch for like 8 hours and just binge shit.
Well, that was when Game of Thrones was on.
Well, or I mean, I could say the first 2 or 3 seasons of Stranger Things. But then when season 4 came out, you were...
Well, it kind of got goofy.
Not as much. Like, you've been losing interest in a lot of stuff that you were formerly more interested in.
Sure.
Or also you just don't want to sit still because you'd rather be crafting or gardening or walking
for sure.
the dogs.
Right.
You love going out for walks with the dogs.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So things have changed a bit, but The Witcher did bring us back together.
The things that are healthy for me.
TV's not healthy for you?
No. It's not. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, come on.
It's not healthy for anyone.
Yeah, we'll see. Science still hasn't settled that argument. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So there isn't that much good stuff on TV.
Right.
Was your statement. And we are currently in the middle of a big strike in Hollywood, which doesn't necessarily affect what's currently on TV, but it's about to get a whole lot worse. Do you remember when do you remember when there was a Hollywood writer's strike in like 2000?
I do.
5, 6, something like that. Early 2000s.
I feel like it was also a supermarket strike around the same time.
There was a supermarket strike, and I want to say like 2002 or 3, because I remember where I was when that happened. But then there was a big Hollywood writer's strike, and I think I was living sort of in this area by then, so I'm going to say 2005 or 6.
Okay.
And that was about the stuff they're always striking about, is like they're not making enough money compared to the billions and billions that they are generating. Which
sure.
I'm always on the side of labor in those kinds of things, whether it's grocery stores or writers. If billions of dollars are being made, that should be shared.
So let's take a film, for instance, that you know, or... Yeah, sure.
Okay. What?
Think of a film that you know how much it made. Can you think of one?
I mean, I don't know. The Lord of the Rings franchise has made like $2 billion or something just on its own.
I'm talking like one film. God.
Okay, I think Avengers Endgame crossed $1 billion.
Okay, $1 billion. And I mean, the actors in there were paid astronomical amounts, I'm sure.
The top of the line, like Robert Downey Jr. might have made like $20 million.
Right. Okay. So I get that the low-level guys are not making that much money, and that's probably who's striking, not like Tony Stark.
Well, then you're talking about the actors who the SAG-AFTRA also just joined in on the strike.
Who's striking then?
Well, it started with the WGA, the Writers Guild of America.
Okay,
and
the writers.
SAG, Screen Actors Guild, and AFTRA, with American Film and Television.
Okay.
Something. So they,
where I was going with that was like, there's a lot of shit. Not a lot of shit. There's a lot of people to pay. There's like in that film, there's hundreds and hundreds of companies and people and whatnots to pay.
Absolutely.
So
making a movie like Avengers Endgame costs $250 to $300 million.
At least, right?
No, that's about right. I mean, I could look it up, but it's something like that.
Well, that's not very much compared to, what'd you say? 20 billion or something? What'd you say?
No, I said the movie itself made about $1 billion.
$1 billion.
In box office sales.
Well, then that's not like... I don't know.
That's one movie. I mean, Disney puts out... Disney's making tens of billions of dollars a year.
Okay.
Billions.
I don't know. I need to see the numbers in order to figure out, like, so how much are they underpaid? How do we figure out how much they should be paid?
The funny thing about Hollywood is that you'll never really see the numbers. You will find out via like stockholder meetings.
There should be a place for that.
So they'll put out like, here's how much money we made in overall profits, because they have to tell the stockholders that, and they also both because they're legally obligated to, but also because showing the high profits will drive their stock prices higher, right? But on the other hand, the way that they do their math for individual movies is really fucked up. You'll never know what a movie makes or didn't make because there's Hollywood math, and I cannot explain to you how.
Somebody should fix that so we can figure all this shit out.
That's fine. I mean, you would need Congress to intervene, but like the best example is Back to the Future.
The actors union should, or these unions should do it.
Maybe if they can, but I don't know how you break that. I don't know. I don't know what the mechanics are of that. But Back to the Future, according to Universal Pictures, has never made a profit. It's actually lost money.
So they're not paying people?
So when people have royalties and percentage fees on the back end, like if Michael J. Fox was supposed to get like, 0.5% of the gross profits, which should be millions of dollars because that movie made a tremendous profit. They find ways to hide that money via other costs and marketing fees and stuff.
That's what they need to do.
This happens a lot. It happens all the time.
They got to stop that shit.
Okay. Look, I agree with you. I just don't know how you do it. I don't know how that scene works. But that is the most famous story. There's a lot of stories like that, but Back to the Future is a really famous one as supposedly not making a profit. To this day, has not made a profit.
Well, they should create their own company.
Who?
The people that are striking.
Well, that's the union. Right.
They should create their own.
Oh, start making films on their own. Well,
and keeping track of shit and everything.
Sure. That would be great. That would be the socialist solution, is that the labor takes control of the operation and says, well, we're just going to make our own movies and then we will control how much we make. Mm-hmm. Everything will be fair. That's a great idea. I hope someone's listening to that. In the meantime, what the current situation is so political and polarizing too, because the information that's getting out there is really awful, but also as we live in California. And so for anyone there that's confused about why the writers are striking, I just want to offer a little perspective. The average writer, meaning that there's a lot of people making less money and a lot of people, the handful at the top making millions for writing Avengers Endgame and shit, right? But that all comes together to an average.
Okay.
The average salary for a writer in Hollywood is something like $65,000 a year. Why did you groan like that?
Because you can't make a living on that.
Right. Now, you can in lots of places. Right. In lots of places, that's a lot of money. Or at least California. A fair amount of money.
Not yet.
But not in California. Mm-hmm. Not in Southern California, where a one-bedroom apartment, you'd be lucky to find one for $3,000 a month now. And if you're making $65,000 a year, that's maybe $4,000 a month after taxes, but not counting like health insurance and car payments and gas and food. I mean... There's no way. And God forbid you have a kid or something. It's just.
Right. How much? When I had kids, I was paying, I want to say $1,200 a month in childcare.
Mm-hmm. Because you have to go to work.
Right. Because you have to go to work.
Right.
And that was back in, let's say I started having kids, I'm not going to say when, but a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
Uh-huh. Well, and
now what is childcare? How much is it?
There have been times, oh God, I don't know. I mean, It must be more than that. Yeah. There have been times when families find like it's cheaper just to have a parent stay home than pay childcare.
Yeah.
But not in Southern California. I mean, you're basically working to get the childcare plus like a
benefits,
a grocery trip or something, or healthcare. Yeah.
Right.
Of your employer.
You have to have healthcare.
But single income households are pretty hard to do here unless you're making a lot more than $65,000 a year.
Yeah, that's why you have a whole bunch of people living in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, totally. You'll have, in some areas, you'll have families of 7 or 8, like the size of our house, living in a 2-bedroom apartment. Mm-hmm. And so we are, you and I, we're pretty lucky in that regard for the reasons that we got to where we are. But even for us, we feel the crunch often. Mm-hmm. And I can't imagine if like we were trying to make ends meet on $70,000 a year. Like it's not possible.
It's not feasible.
So that's why they're striking. And the Screen Actors Guild has a lot of the same situations. I just watched a TikTok from a guy who was like, yeah, I used to be on Glee as like an occasional recurring character, but I was making $1,000 a day, which sounds like a lot, except I'm only working like once a month or once every couple months. And you try to find other gigs in between all those, but the money that you're making, if you're lucky, comes out to minimum wage overall.
Yeah.
And you can't make a living on that. And then on top of that, residuals in the streaming era have been a very contentious issue because they're not accounted for in the contracts like they used to be pre-streaming.
Sure.
So that's what they're all fighting for.
Wow.
Now, I bring all this up because of a Game of Thrones headline. See, I was going to tie it all together. I get my socialist rant in, but also Game of Thrones news. So our Game of Thrones news that just came out a couple days ago is this. Here's the headline. House of the Dragon can continue filming in UK amid SAG-AFTRA strike due to local union rules. And it's not even that they can continue filming. It's that they are continuing to film and the actors don't have a choice in the matter.
Oh, I see. They're not allowed to strike?
Correct. The HBO series cast is composed of primarily UK actors who are working under contracts governed by the local UK unions. As such, the series is technically allowed to continue filming because these members aren't legally allowed to strike in solidarity with the U.S. union.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, I mean, striking is a bitch.
It is.
It's a real bitch.
Yeah. I was thinking about, so they have a strike fund. Oh, yeah. I mean, the studios have said, not completely publicly, but like semi-publicly, like anonymous leaking of we're going to try to wait this out till like October or November before we come back to the table because we want the writers to be literally starving and losing their homes.
That's stupid.
And then we'll take them down. But there are strike funds. The guilds keep these going over the years, small donations here and there as part of your union dues, so that if a strike has to happen, you can still pull out some money to pay your bills with. And it is possible to donate to those as a private citizen as well. And I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, well, what if I was like a George Clooney or a Brad Pitt or something?
Right.
I would like to
they
think
have enough money to
say it. To what?
Do anything they want.
When you have that kind of money, and I don't know Brad Pitt's net worth, but it's over $100 million. You could very easily take like $20 million and you'd never feel it.
Right.
Not till the day you die. And just be like, look.
And
hey,
why don't they
producers,
fix this problem?
By coming to the producers? Yeah. Well,
they're the powerful ones.
Well, that would be the best way to do it.
Are they like supporting this?
They haven't made any statements. I was just thinking of those. Matt Damon made a statement that was very pro-strike recently. But then the headlines around it, because they figure no one's ever going to read the whole article or watch the whole video, was basically sort of framing it as it's a real bummer that we have to shut our productions down. But that was only like 10% of what he said. So there's those kind of shenanigans too. Ron Perlman went on a great rant the other day. Do you remember him? Do you know who I'm talking about? Ron Perlman. He was...
Is he the funny looking guy?
He's the big hulking man with the giant head from, he's been in a ton of stuff.
Oh yeah, I know.
The motorcycle show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The dad.
The older guy. Yeah, the dad. He was kind of scary. he was in so many words threatening to just like go burn down producers' houses so that they can be homeless.
Wow.
He didn't say that in those exact words, and then he came back and apologized kind of for it later. But his rant was epic. Yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
He had a lot to say. You should. I don't know what kind of money that dude has, but I hope that they are putting large sums into this strike fund so that
they can continue.
The writers and actors can wait out. Yeah. You can wait out the production companies because they're beholden to stockholders. And the stockholders want to see profit. And if you aren't producing anything and people's subscription numbers start dropping, like I think I'm going to cancel HBO because I don't need it right now. Like they're not making anything that I need until House of the Dragon season 2 comes out at best. Maybe Netflix, maybe, we need to cancel Disney Plus for sure. Like they're at the head of this too. The HBO dude.
Do it.
Yeah. Well, Disney's yours. So I'll cancel my HBO.
But then
you
we
cancel
can't
your
watch
Disney.
Witcher.
Well,
no, you said
we'll
Netflix.
hold on to Netflix for 3 more weeks.
Oh my
and
gosh.
then we'll talk about it.
Because they're going to find a way to make us, don't say that.
No, we should say that.
Okay,
and
say
more
it.
people should be doing it. Cancel your subscriptions because all they're going to be putting out is unscripted reality TV shows over the next year because they don't have anything new in production. They can't use writers. They can't use actors. So they're going to be making garbage. and they need to not make money for that.
Yay. Well, this will be good for us.
Sure.
No watching TV. Watching less TV.
I mean, what am I? I'm not crafty like you. Maybe I'll play more music or finally read the rules to board games.
Now, what about YouTube?
Well, YouTube.
Actors.
Actors?
Well, yeah, YouTubers are actors, basically.
Well, anyone with a YouTube channel that has enough subscribers will make ad revenue off their shows. So it's...
Are they like considered... They don't have it. They're not in a union.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, and people make scripted shows on YouTube and release their own productions, and they're just working off of ad revenue or maybe a Patreon. So at that point, you're getting money directly to the people by watching the ads, or you can donate to them, via something like a Patreon. No, YouTube's okay. I mean, I don't know what Google's profit model is. They've definitely put the pinch on creators over the years. You can't make as much money as easily as you used to be able to make money on YouTube. But at least it's yours. It's pretty clear cut. If you get this many views, you get this many cents or dollars or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So YouTube's much better. And you don't have to pay a subscription fee to use it because it's just ad supported. Mm-hmm. No, I'm all for YouTube right now. And TikTok, same thing. Although scripted stuff is very short form.
Yeah.
But people do make money off of it. Mm-hmm. There is revenue sharing. So, yeah.
Okay, well, there we are.
There was more to that article about how if, fucking... I don't know, whoever, Matt Smith wants to go join the strike in LA, he can be sued by the production company because he's doing something that's against his contract. So he'd be in breach of contract if he did that, him and his big forehead. So yeah, House of the Dragon's coming. So I guess that's kind of good news for us, at least in the context of this podcast, but everything else in Hollywood's going to be shutting down.
Wow.
Yep. There was one show, let's see, Fallout's already in post-production, so we might be okay there. And that'll be on Amazon Prime. Comic-Con's coming up next weekend.
Right?
Yeah. That shit's falling apart fast.
Is it?
Hall H doesn't even have anything on Sunday anymore. Because what panels they have, they've consolidated into Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Why? What happened?
All of the big studios have pulled out.
Why?
Well, partially because actors probably don't want to appear anymore. And any other creative...
Why?
Because they're on strike.
Well,
and before
they had this planned a long time ago.
Yeah, you could say, I'm going to come, but unless they have your name signed to a contract, I mean, people have pulled out before. When we saw the last Game of Thrones panel... the D&D, Benioff and Weiss, they were supposed to be there for the panel, but then they pulled out they were scared.
They were because the show had just ended and everybody was pissed.
They didn't want to answer the questions.
They didn't want to get shit thrown at them.
Right. And that's what's happening right now is the people behind the TV shows don't want to have to answer questions about the strike and the future of Hollywood. So yeah, all the big studios have pulled out. There's none of the big things are happening anymore. And then also, again, probably because of the SAG strike more than anything, a lot of the talent has pulled out of the signings where you can go wait in line and get something signed for $50, $100, depending on who it is.
George R.R. Martin's not there.
Those are being canceled left and right too. So Comic-Con's not looking great. Maybe we can try to pull together things that we hear out of Comic-Con and come back soon with a Comic-Con summary, but we're not there.
That's why that's why it's falling apart.
Because we're not there?
Because we're not there.
Would you want to go back next year? They keep inviting us.
Yes.
Well,
I guess we'll see how this next year goes.
Let's just try to podcast semi-regularly between now and then so we can justify our existence.
Alrighty.
All right.
I did say we're back.
Were you moaning because your foot hurts or were you moaning because I said semi-regularly?
My foot hurts.
Okay. Want me to rub your foot later?
No.
Oh. All right.
I think I damaged it with the foot roller.
Oh, with the robot massage.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, boy, robots. We could go on a whole thing about AI, but let's talk about The Witcher.
Okay.
AI being central to that strike as well. But let's do that another day. The Witcher.
The Witcher. We watched The Witcher.
We did watch The Witcher. 5 episodes. So only half a season, which definitely puts a limit on the number of things we can talk about, largely because there are no conclusions at all. But it did leave us with some interesting ideas. So we're not going to break it down episode by episode because...
Thank God.
Ain't nobody got time for that. right?
Right.
But I made a little note. I titled the note "The Four Plots," thinking about the four big plots running through the episode.
All right.
But then I made the list, and it turned out to be 6 that I could count. So we'll come back to these. Here are the 6 things. Tell me if I'm missing anything. Emir, the White Flame, king of Nilfgaard, is invading the north to just take over the world, and also wants Ciri, who is his daughter.
Sure.
All right. He used to be a hedgehog.
Right.
Francesca, the Elven Queen, while trying to find peace and whatever for her elven people, also wants Ciri because she is their savior as prophesized by the prophecies.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. The Wild Hunt is out there somewhere. They want Ciri, probably so she can help them do interdimensional travel.
What's the Wild Hunt?
The scary guys on the horses that were chasing Ciri at one point.
Yeah.
And we saw them at the end of last season, but very briefly.
Yep.
Geralt and Yennefer want to keep Ciri safe and or make her an all-powerful Witcher sorceress.
They're mom and dad now.
They are mom and dad for sure. And then the most mysterious of the plots, someone is kidnapping half-elf girls and wants Ciri for something. And we don't know what. And Dijkstra and Philippa plot in Redania and also want Ciri for something. I don't think there's been any indication of what. So maybe we should start with that. Do you have any idea what's going on with Dijkstra and Philippa?
Well, it seems like they want control
of Redania.
Right. The best theory that I have so far is the only reason they want Ciri is because everybody wants her, and she's got the power.
She's got the touch.
She's got the power.
Yeah, maybe. But they haven't. Like, Dijkstra's already in a position where he's almost running Redania.
I think they want to kill off the king too.
Maybe if, that would be a plot very similar to what we saw in that Witcher prequel, the Blood Moon. Blood Moon, was that what it was called? Blood something. Because in that one, the whole thing began with the elf princess getting married, and then she killed the king, like right afterwards, and she seized control of the throne, along with her wizard people that were backing her. So that does sound kind of familiar. Maybe they are trying to plot something like that, where they will be Ciri's closest advisors, and she'll kill the king, and then they can kind of run the place on her behalf. Maybe. That could be what they have in mind, but nothing is really clear at all. They're just sneaky sneakertons. They killed the queen of Redania and framed Nilfgaard for it, so that the king of Vizimir, I think his name is, would be angry at Nilfgaard. But again, why would they want to go to war? Are they trying to save the North, or are they just trying to get him killed? Like, nothing's clear about this.
I think that because he wanted to align with Nilfgaard, right?
I think he was staying out of it mostly.
Oh, I thought he wanted to do something with Nilfgaard, so they were trying to keep him away from them.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. We're going to find out, I suppose, next week.
Historically, I've been avoiding the Witcher books until after watching the seasons. So I've read the first 2 Witcher books now, but we're also wildly diverting from the book plots, and that's angered a lot of fans and Henry Cavill.
I like that.
I think it's a good thing. Yeah. I mean, if you're fairly true to the characters, isn't it better that we get like sort of half old, half new stories that you can have some surprises? Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I would consider that a positive myself, but some people do not. So I don't know if there's any answers in the books if I were to go ahead and read the 3rd book. Maybe not. All right, how about the kidnapping of the half-elf girls? Now, we got a big reveal right at the end of episode 5 that it would appear that the bad guy is Vilgefortz. What do you think?
Why would he do that?
Well, that's a good question. We don't know why any of this about Ciri is a thing. So here's what we do know. Someone's been experimenting on half-elf magic girls.
Right.
And
giving them Ciri's memories somehow. Who has Ciri's memories?
So there was Taryn. So it appears that all the girls were being kidnapped from Aretusa, the magic school, Hogwarts of the wizard world. So they were all being kidnapped. And the one we met, Taryn, thought she was Ciri, had Ciri's memories implanted. Where do you get Ciri's memories from in the first place?
Right. That's what I want to know.
That's a fair question.
Let's think. Do you want to continue or do you want to think about
Please.
that?
Well, what's your theory?
Who are the only people that could have her memories? Tissaia. Maybe that guy that ripped out her insides, the uterus guy, took all of her insides out. And
no, you're talking about Yennefer.
Fixed her back. Yes.
We're talking about Ciri's memories.
Duh.
Sorry.
I don't know why. Oh, wait. Yes.
Tissaia did try to read Ciri's mind.
Because she got that whole eyeball thing going.
Yeah, she was bleeding from the eyes after trying to read Ciri's mind.
Right.
But that was like
who else could have her memories?
That was after Geralt had met Taryn.
Geralt could have her memories.
Yeah, and Vilgefortz
who
and
could
Geralt
have
met
her
before.
memories?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, maybe you can pull them down from a distance, do like an FTP kind of thing, but I don't know. Maybe he has Calanthe's body and is using Calanthe's memories to implant like Ciri's memories. I don't know.
What about like those people that made her drink the stuff and what's his name is with them now?
That was in the Witcher school.
No.
That made Ciri. The Broccolin Forest?
Yes.
Whew. Okay.
And because what's his name is with.
Well, other non-magical people, well, maybe Ciri too. If you drank the waters of Broccolin Forest or whatever it was called, I think it's Broccolin, you would, I think, lose your memories. I think that was a thing.
Right.
So there could be. Wow, babe, that's a deep friggin' pull.
Because what's his name is.
You haven't watched season 1 in forever. How do you remember that?
Because I keep seeing that guy. What's his name?
Oh, Dara?
Diarrhea.
Dara. God. Yes, Dara's all grown up now and is an elf.
And he doesn't like
rebel.
Ciri.
He definitely does not. He thinks she's bad news.
Maybe he has her memories in a little pouch.
Maybe
Bag of waters.
Scooped him out of the waters of Broccolin. Mm-hmm. You know what? Anything's possible. If you want to go back to season 1, there is also there's a Doppler out there.
Right.
And the Doppler could mimic anybody and take their memories just by looking at them.
Right. And I thought that guy that is now helping Ciri's dad was the Doppler.
Ciri's real dad? You think he's the Doppler?
No, I thought that the guy was...
Cahir?
Cahir. I thought he was the Doppler.
Well, the Doppler took him over at one point.
Right.
There is a world, potentially, where Cahir has been the Doppler this whole time, but I think we saw evidence that was not the case at the end of that episode.
I don't know.
Because we're pretty sure the Doppler got away. That would be a wild ass theory, but the Doppler was around Ciri and would theoretically have access to her memories because of that. That would be fascinating. That would be a hell of a twist, or like a comeback, or whatever. A deep pull for sure, just like you just did.
What about the fire guy? Is there any connection
Rience?
where he could have her memories somehow?
I don't think so. He's trying to capture her. He's working for whoever's. They figured out that Rience is not the dude. He's not powerful enough to be doing all this weird shit with corrupted portals and I don't know, corrupted portals at the very least. So they're sure that it's not him that's at the front of it. So they figure there's some other more powerful dude, and that's where Geralt found Taryn, the girl that thought she was Ciri, as well as the other experiments. Which, if you're trying to make a Ciri. So Geralt's theory is they're experimenting on these girls so that they can get it right when they have the real Ciri. But what we saw were 3 girls that were merged into one very Elden Ring, Dark Souls kind of monster.
I didn't see that. I'm going to have to look it up because...
Were you asleep?
No.
It was just a bunch of torsos with legs and arms just beating the shit out of Geralt.
Well,
And then
I guess I remember.
the heads were dangling and they were screaming.
I thought it looked. That's right. I thought it looked like the whatchamacallit from the Wendigos from the Wendigo, the giant Wendigo
from Fallout. Yeah, that thing had 3 heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
that's what I thought it looked like.
Was that a Wendigo?
Or maybe the Elden Ring thing.
Well, or the Elden Ring thing, the grafted scion, like
yeah,
very a lot of similarities there. Clearly, whoever made that is a gamer. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But that doesn't explain anything about what they might want to do to the series. So this plot is very weird. But at the very end, they thought it was Stregobor, and even though Stregobor's a dickhead, that was too easy of an answer. We saw that coming too, except we thought it was Istrid.
I think it's right?
I guess not. I mean, it seemed like that was where we were going with this, but he might actually be a good guy. He does have much better hair, Istrid.
Now than he did before.
Well, he used to have very short cropped hair, and it just made his head look weirdly elongated.
And it was a big poof on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like his new hair.
I do too.
Fits his head shape better.
He seems evil though. Doesn't he? He's fishy.
Well, he's always been fishy. Yeah,
right.
For sure. He's hard to trust. But he did help in the end, but maybe he's trying to help frame Stregobor.
Right.
That would be...
He did...
But he didn't get away with the book.
She was touching all that stuff, and it was right there. Mm-hmm. And it was gone when he went over to the safe.
I have a feeling that was like a weird continuity error kind of thing. So
no, I don't think so.
Istrid walks up to the safe, and then there's like an illusion, and he pulls the book out of a secret hatch in the wall. But Triss, we know Triss is not corrupted, and she was in on the plan.
We don't know her. She's not. We don't know.
Oh, come on, she's so sweet.
She's
the sweetest of all the witches.
She's going to be very butthurt when she gets turned down.
One too many times by
Geralt.
Yeah. She'd probably be a better girlfriend than Yennefer.
Yennefer's a great girlfriend now. Look at them. They're in love.
Well, for the moment.
Said it.
That's true. He did say it.
He said, I love you.
I don't know. Yennefer's hard to trust.
Look at her. She's all happy. She's got stars in her eyes.
She's still doing
her
a lot of
skin looks great. She's glowing. Her hair's down to her ankles.
She's still doing a lot of scheming, though.
No, she isn't. Well, what with this whole conclave thing?
Now it's scheming against whoever might be trying to hurt Ciri, but we don't know her long-term goals.
She's just trying to protect Ciri.
I hope so.
You think she's got something else
I'm just saying, if you put Triss and Yennefer in a room and say you have to trust one of these with your life, I would trust Triss.
Really?
Yennefer's more powerful, but I don't know that I could actually trust her.
Well, we'll see if you die by the end of this
podcast.
I did bring the hammer.
Oh, well, that's good for me, I guess.
By the end of The Witcher.
If I die by
the
end of
this
Witcher?
Season.
Okay.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, in theory. Like, if you trusted Triss, I think we're going to learn that we shouldn't trust Triss by the end of the season.
That would bum me out, but, you could be right. Anything is possible in these shows.
Of course, you know more than this about this whole series than I do, but...
Really don't. I mean, because the books are different. You should really start reading them. I bought you the first 2.
No, but...
They're good bath time reading. You just have to take a little break from your YouTube murder documentaries, which do sometimes make me a little nervous, now that I think about it. You sure do spend a lot of time thinking about murder.
I don't like to think about murder. I just like to learn about it.
I see.
Weird things people do.
So in the end, after arresting Stregobor, they go through some stuff involving Tesea's bracelet, and there's the lady that can't talk because she doesn't have a lower jaw.
Because she lost her secret love or whatever. What?
She lost a love and then got horribly maimed. And we saw a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, I saw that. We
saw briefly like the illusion got
The illusion dropped. Came off.
Yeah. So she has no jaw. She can't talk. But someone else had said something about whoever's pulling Rance's strings is the lady with no voice or something like that. So she's involved for sure. But they also figure Vilgefortz is involved because of the gems that he had on the bracelet for Tisea come from the same place as the castle was.
And he had given them to what's-her-name, too.
And the corrupted portal that Yennefer went through took her to the same place that was in the painting that Vilgefortz loves of the day the Brotherhood got formed.
I mean, seems like he shouldn't have chosen that place.
But then, well, yeah, that was kind of a tell, I guess. But there was also that he seems to be preparing for a war and keeps talking to Geralt about that, when in fact the whole point of the conclave was that they were supposed to be negotiating for peace.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, I don't know. They want to... I don't understand.
The big question is, what was Vilgefortz's motivation for wanting Ciri? Like, we don't understand any of that, unless he just wants dimensional travel too.
But now Ciri's going to be there.
Like, Stregobor's supposed motivation was to use that funny book to banish elves. To just get rid of all the elves from this world. Which is fucking typical fucking white dude, because the elves were here first, but whatever. But he wants to get rid of elves, but apparently he's not that much of a dickhead, but maybe Vilgefortz is, or maybe Vilgefortz has a different reason.
Well, maybe it's not Vilgefortz at all.
Or maybe it's not. Maybe it'll still turn out to be Istrid. That would be great. I would enjoy watching that. That would be pretty funny little twist at the end. And we got 5 more episodes for the season, so a lot of stuff can happen. Oh, okay. How about Emir, the White Flame, invading the north, and he also wants Ciri, who is his daughter. So I wanted to make sure. So I looked in the cast list, and the guy playing Emir is in fact the same guy that played Dooney the Hedgehog Man.
Oh.
So they really are the same person.
Wow.
They look different because he got the beard and his hair's all combed and everything, and he's got nice clothes on. So I guess
he's 20 years older.
Yeah, some 15 or something.
Yeah,
however old Ciri's supposed to be. Yeah, he's
15.
aged a bit.
Yeah.
I don't understand this world where you can't just be like, hey,
I want my
that's
daughter.
My daughter. Could I have my daughter, please?
Right.
I guess maybe he tried to negotiate it with Calanthe, but there's probably some ways to make like a public ruckus about it. Do like a PR campaign.
I don't remember. Like, did he? Did he try to get her from Calanthe?
Well, he invaded Sintra first. And Ciri was the main target. That's what Cahir was doing. He kidnapped Ciri, but she got away because she did the scream thing and broke the pillar and all that.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get her. That was clearly job number 1 about why we invaded Sintra. But then he's continuing to invade the whole continent. I guess he just
really
wants to invade, but if he really just wanted his daughter, there's easier, less bloody ways
just
to
send
get
a telegram, send a crow.
Yeah. Send a neutral messenger, figure out a way to get to Ciri and explain what's going on. There's got to have been a way.
Right, bring her here and protect her here. Magic.
Fringilla could have done it.
Let's not be assholes about this.
Yeah. But instead they invaded the whole world.
Choose violence.
He chose violence, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like kind of a dick.
Something's a mess. Yeah. I don't know.
If he ever
I think he wants her for evil purposes.
Yeah, he doesn't just want his daughter.
He wants her power.
He wants her power for something too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
Does he know about her power? I guess he does because of the scream thing.
Well, because of his wife.
Yeah, but that doesn't
his
ensure
wife had the power
that
too.
She has the power.
No, but it's pretty likely. I mean, if you ever figured out,
Calanthe didn't have it.
Calanthe, yeah. Let's see. Where did the power come from?
I don't know.
Must not have been from Calanthe's side. I don't know. But daughter definitely had it.
Maybe her grandmother had it. I think maybe there was something.
There was something else weird in that family tree. I can't tell you exactly what it is off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he wants her to use her power.
Mm-hmm. And there are a bunch of people that if they saw, like, because he changed his name from Dooney to Emir, but if they saw Emir, they'd be like, hey, weren't you the Hedgehog Man? And if Geralt saw him especially, right? And then Geralt could be like, hey, bro, I saved your ass. I didn't
want her. He didn't even want her.
I got Ciri by accident while saving your ass from being murdered by Calanthe's guards. Mm-hmm. What the fuck? Like,
Why are you doing this?
Why are you doing this? Why is your name Amir now?
I helped you big mother hedgehog.
So I do look forward to whenever it is they meet, but yeah. And so Kahir has now redeemed himself from his failures, and he's back on track working for Amir again.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know about
I mean,
the whole thing from last season, like Kahir and Fringilla worked together to like murder a bunch of Amir's like top dudes.
That was weird too, yeah.
And then Fringilla got thrown in prison to become a wine tester, and of course she escaped. Like, why wouldn't you think the magic person would eventually escape? And now she's a free agent, I guess. We don't know what the future
things
holds.
feel disjointed right now.
She's going to do something good. Yeah. Well, right. There's a million plots, although almost all of them revolve around Ciri. Oh, okay. Francesca, the Elven Queen, wants Ciri as her savior. I don't think we have a lot to say about that. She's the prophesized Messiah.
Sounds good to me.
She's supposed to lead the elves to their new homeland or something. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, apart from Dara not wanting to trust Ciri, I don't know that there's much else to say.
Right.
They're being used. Like, Amir is willing to use her, but probably is going to try to kill all the elves in the end.
Maybe.
But Ciri won't let that happen if she
Ciri's
has a chance.
part elf.
Right.
So why would she let that happen? I mean, why would he want that? Like, does he hate elves?
I don't know. People are fucking racist as fuck, man. I don't know. I mean, he shouldn't hate all elves if he knows his daughter's part elf.
Right.
And his wife was part elf.
Maybe he wants to kill her too. Maybe he wants to kill Ciri because she's part elf and she's powerful.
Maybe.
But he was a hedgehog. Come on. You gotta be a little more accepting than that.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be racist when you've lived in a hedgehog body.
Yeah.
Okay, the Wild Hunt is out there and wants Ciri, probably for dimensional travel. That's all we know. But even
Who are the Wild Hunt? Who are they?
Forebearers of doom from another dimension.
Oh. Okay.
They live in another sphere, but there's prophecies about them. They're not unheard of in this world. People have heard of them before, and when they show up, it means war and death.
Okay, well, I mean, sure.
Yeah. Since I only got through the first major act of the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt video game, I can't tell you anything else about that right now, but I do intend to go back to that game one of these days.
Okay.
Yep, definitely one of these days. And then finally, Geralt and Yennefer want to keep Ciri safe and or make her an all-powerful Witcher sorceress. So that was sort of the last big plot. They're parents now, fully. They've been working together.
Mm-hmm. And Ciri wants to be a queen, I think. So,
you think she does want to be queen?
Well, she seems to be going in that direction.
I think she just wants to be a Witcher. I think she just wants to be an adventurer.
I think she wants to be a queen now. Huh. I think she wants to be able to do all those things too.
Well, her mom, or grandma, Calanthe, was like a badass warrior and also queen. Mm-hmm. So she could want something like that. But if she's going to be queen, that means she has to get married. I don't think she's...
Why do you have to be married?
Because everyone out there is a king. Well, who's she going to be queen of?
The land. What do you mean? Who is she going to be queen of?
Well, to be queen, you have to have a queendom or a kingdom. What kingdom will she be queen of?
Whatever one she wants.
So is she going to murder a king and take his throne? Or is she going to marry into it?
Doesn't she, like, rightfully... Isn't her mom's land isn't that rightfully
Well, there
hers?
is Sintra. Yeah, if she could free Sintra, she could have the throne there. That's very true. She is also apparently the rightful heir to Nilfgaard because, well, her dad was an usurper of some kind. He took the throne by force in a coup. But because he's king, she would be the next heir. Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
But, so that's all you have to talk about in The Witcher?
Well, there was a little bit more there about the Geralt-Yennefer relationship.
There was a great love story. He totally opened up to her.
Well, they started off hating each other. Let's not forget that she tried to kill Ciri last season.
I know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yes.
He's actually talking this season. Not just grunting. I don't think I've heard him grunt maybe once, but I don't even
know if he said fuck yet. Maybe when the Dark Souls monster came out. He's softened a bit.
He's not brooding. We've seen him smile. He's not being a jerk to everybody. He even complimented Ciri. He said, "I think you would be a great queen."
He thanked Jaskier for helping.
He said sorry to Yennefer for whatever. And Yennefer has completely done a 180. she's like, I don't even know who she is. She doesn't look all
Well, someone said it. I think it was Tisea that was like, your quest is done. You're finally a mother or something like
right.
that.
Mm-hmm. And Jaskier, you didn't talk about him at all. He's got some kind of weird crush on the king's brother.
Radovan, I think his name is.
Yes, I think that's right. I don't know. That guy doesn't seem like he's trustworthy. And he seems like he might have some diseases.
I don't think he has diseases. Radovan seems very socially awkward. I don't think he would get around too much.
But he was having all these parties.
Well, that's what you do when you're a royal. That doesn't necessarily mean you're sleeping with everybody. But it's not like Game of Thrones with like the buggery stuff, right? Like in Game of Thrones, it was really frowned upon to be gay.
Oh,
but
I see what you're saying.
But this world maybe is okay with it. It doesn't seem like it's.
Well, I'm not talking about that being gay.
Well, I'm just thinking of him as maybe being kind of closeted. Like maybe that's why.
Oh, I see.
He seemed so awkward when he clearly had a crush on Jaskier. Jaskier.
I just keep thinking he's plotting to get into Jaskier's. Now you got me doing it. Good graces or
Dandelion. Just say Dandelion.
Dandelion.
That's his translated name. You'll see it in the books.
I think I heard it somewhere.
They said Dandelion at one point in the first couple episodes of season 3 here. Someone said the Dandelion Bard or something like that.
I mean, you didn't even talk about like the stuff that the show was about.
That's just my notes. What do you got? What?
It was all just like connections with people, really. But what I don't get is this whole conclave thing. I don't get it. Like she's having a ball, which is also a conclave. Same thing, I guess.
I guess the big meeting's the next day.
Oh, okay. So it's a ball night, and then day 2 is like conference.
Yes.
Okay.
That seems to be.
So, and we haven't seen that yet.
Right. That's about to happen.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So she's invited all these people to get them on her side in order to do what?
I believe it's all about we need all the kingdoms of the north to make an alliance against Nilfgaard so we can beat Nilfgaard. And
because
we'll go,
they want to do what? Nilfgaard wants to do what?
Take over the world. They're
How do we know that?
Because they didn't stop at Sintra. They've been invading all the surrounding lands.
Okay. I'm sure they said all that. But...
If it was just Sintra to get Ciri, okay. But they didn't stop.
And now her dad is a Nilfgaard king.
Emir? Yeah.
How did that happen?
We never saw it. All we know is that the royal family of Nilfgaard was a bunch of like inbred, just like weak-blooded layabouts.
Uh-huh.
Just like real, like you'd probably look at them and just go, nah.
Yeah, they were like lumps of arms and legs.
Probably. So he took over. I think there was at least some blood, but we don't know all the details in the show.
Does anybody know that Ciri's dad is now in charge of Nilfgaard? Has that been said?
No one has come up with that.
Nobody has connected him. Nobody at all.
I think when we saw Emir talking to Cahir, he said something about wanting his daughter back.
Right.
So
Cahir must know.
It's not 100% secret. At the very least, Cahir knows that Ciri is Emir's daughter. At which point, Cahir could be like,
I'll go get her. Hey, I'll go tell her. Or whatever.
Like, hey, your dad wants to talk to you. Can we please go talk to your dad?
Yeah.
Because she doesn't.
Your dad's now in charge of Nilfgaard. Let's just go talk and we can sort this whole thing out.
There's so many ways to do this without all the craziness.
Well, this is what happens in the world.
Yeah, that's probably true. There's a lot of stuff in the real world, too, that could be settled more easily if people would just sit down and have a real talk with each other. Not the least of which the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like an open and honest discussion.
Right.
We don't get enough of that in this world.
Aye.
Yeah, no, that's all very true. You are right. The theme of this season does seem to be humanizing Geralt and Yennefer.
Mm-hmm.
And just building relationships.
Showing their love.
Or the first half of the season's about building relationships. We watched that 60-second preview of the second half of the season that comes out in like 2 weeks, and it looks very messy. Like,
I don't remember what happens.
The Ring of Fire crashes in Aretuza, and there's a lot of It just looks like a lot of people are dead or bloodied.
Somebody.
Possibly including Geralt. We saw his sword break.
Geralt can't die. It's the Witcher. It's not.
Well, okay. So let's talk about that real quick.
Yennefer.
We have no idea how this season's going to end. But we do know that season 4 has already been greenlit.
You're not going to spoil things for me. I know that he's not coming back.
No, I know. We talked about that.
Okay. Just don't want you giving me any
Well, he's
spoils.
being replaced by a Hemsworth.
Uh-huh.
Which, could be worse for someone like yourself. Although I know you like Henry Cavill most of all, but you appreciate a Hemsworth. You've been known to appreciate a Hemsworth
Thor.
or two in your time. It has been said in a completely non-spoiler way that the fact that Geralt's face is going to change will be explained in the show. No idea what that means. Does it mean he dies and regenerates like a fucking Doctor Who guy? Or will there be some interdimensional thing? When the Terran girl introduced herself as Ciri, I was like, oh, maybe she's like Ciri from an alternate dimension, and that's going to tie into like the way Geralt changes or something. But it turns out she was just brainwashed. But it could be. There's a lot of different things it could be.
Yeah,
I have no idea how to speculate on that. But
yeah, maybe they'll take the memories from Geralt's dead body and put them into a new Geralt.
Yeah, sure. Since we have that as an option, apparently, maybe the experiment that was supposed to do ? To Ciri could be used to resurrect Geralt in a new body. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Do you think it's her dad that's doing these experiments?
Amir?
Yeah.
He's not magical.
No, I mean under his direction.
Oh. I would hope not. That'd be some shitty shit to want to do to your daughter.
Would he somehow have her memories?
In theory, I don't think they've ever met. Wait, we don't
but
actually...
Kahir,
what the fuck?
Kahir.
He has to have met his daughter when she was born, because it was Mom... I forget Mom's name, but Dooney and Mom
they got
on
married.
like a boat ride, and then their boat disappeared and was never seen again. And then he came back 15 years later as the new king of Nilfgaard.
So we don't know what happened to his
She
love.
is presumed... They were both presumed dead. We haven't seen her.
Maybe she cheated on him and now he hates... Was she elf?
She was part elf.
That's why
she
he
had
hates
the
elves
touch.
now.
Maybe she caused the storm that wrecked the ship that killed her.
Who knows? I don't know. We're going to find out, though, hopefully. Hopefully explain all of this.
I hope so. You can do a lot in 5 hours of television.
We've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of room for it, but we've also been hurt before.
Yes, we have.
Many times by many a show.
We've had many questions left.
Yeah. So, yeah,
we'll
see. But I think at the very least, this means that we will be back.
At least in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Since we may be getting some out-of-town visitors, there may be a delay there, but
you should have a podcast with our friends when they're here.
Perhaps.
That'd be so fun.
Perhaps we can hook something up in that regard. Got to come up with a good topic.
Okay.
We'll work on that.
Yep.
But we will certainly review the back half of Witcher Season 3 as soon as we can. And God, you're right. We better have some answers to at least most of these questions, or else I'm going to be really mad.
What were we talking about earlier?
What?
We were talking about somebody. I called somebody something. What was that? Do you remember?
I called somebody something?
Yeah.
That sounds like the notes I wrote. Somebody wants Ciri so they can do something.
All right, well.
I don't know.
Fuck.
If it comes to you, we can do an emergency podcast.
Okay, we'll insert here.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
It'll take me a little while to get this edited and posted. So if you figure it out,
we'll
record real quick. Okay. Well,
or it might be at the end.
It might be at the end, or it might be in a few weeks, or it might never happen. But we will definitely be back in touch with you guys soon. Thank you for still being subscribed.
Yes, thank you for listening.
We'll try to be back more often.
See you next time.
Bye.